Welcome to partialarc.com. Don't do that.
Hi humans! Before we kick off the episode, a quick announcement. Partial Arc is off to Gen Con this week. If you're unfamiliar with Gen Con, it's the world's largest gaming convention. Everything from simple card games to RPGs. Basically, it's tons of fun and we'll be there to demo our very own game, Mortals. If you happen to be there this week, come say hi. And finally, if you'd like to help us out, please consider hopping on iTunes and leaving us a rating and review. Any 5-star rating really helps people find the show and allows us to continue bringing you these crazy stories. With that said, let's start the show.
I'm here to save the day. I'm here to save the day.
Soon I will be invincible. Because comics. Welcome to Because Comics. This is episode 33. I'm your host, Jay Jones, and I'm joined by my co-host, the liquidating Mike Christensen.
I'm like a T-1000 over here.
You are. What is your liquid, in fact? Because we all know the T-1000 is made of mostly aluminum foil, right?
I feel like you watched a different film than we did.
Are you sure about that?
No.
The budget of the film was about $1,000. It was
Yeah.
made at Temple University out of Philadelphia. It was called Turfinator Dose.
No, I'm pretty sure it was called Sharkinator.
Really?
Yeah.
And guys, this is our episode where we're talking exclusively about Terminator 2.
Yeah, I know, we already did that.
And liquid content that is Mike Christensen. But at the top of each of our episodes, we always talk about our comic pulls and what we're reading this week. And this week, I'm reading a DC comic. I think you guys have heard of it before. It's called Batman. Hold on. Okay, so I did a little while ago also do a review and pull of Batman.
I think earlier this year?
Yeah, and it's not even a different Batman comic because there are different Batman comics like Detective Comics and like Batman and Robin and things like that. This is still Batman, and written by Scott Snyder and drawn by Greg Capullo.
The same creative team.
Same creative team. It is in fact the very next arc after the one I reviewed previously. So the reason why I'm doing this poll, and look, I could keep talking about the different arcs of Batman. I love the comic.
Yeah.
But it's specifically, I wanted to bring it up for this poll because it is like a brand new comic.
Yeah.
It is like a Batman and Robin. It is like a Batgirl. It is like a completely different thing.
It's like the Batgirl revamp.
Right, because this is Batman 41, which is where this new arc starts. Now, if you don't want any spoilers on Batman, where he currently is and where this new issue is going, because there will be some spoilers, just a little bit on the current state of Batman, not about this run. Please skip ahead about 5 minutes. Fair warning, here we go. So, the current state of Batman is that Bruce Wayne Batman, is no longer with us. He has shuffled off this mortal coil.
Warn you till we join you.
He is gone by the wayside, old Bruce Wayne.
Tip one out for the homies.
And in his place, because the Batman mantle has to be filled.
It's pour one out, not tip one out. Go ahead.
I kept moving on by.
Yeah, no, keep
just
going.
dodging that one.
Yeah.
And so the Batman mantle has passed on to none other than Jim Gordon?
Commissioner Jim Gordon
Commissioner Jim Gordon. Now, right away, the thought might be like, that is super strange. And in fact, this run is called Superheavy. And the reason is, the real pitch of this is Jim Gordon is Batman. He uses a mech suit and a gun. And I love it.
And a gun.
And a gun. These are things that normally you'd be like, Batman's in a mech suit and he uses a gun. I would be like, well, that is just the dumbest version of Batman. But it is phenomenal. So really the story tackles something that a lot of Batman stories have done passively before, or they do like when Batman dies, and by dies, I mean he goes back in time to be a pilgrim Batman and then a pirate Batman. You know those normal stories.
That did happen.
That did happen. We might eventually get to those stories.
I think we're going to have to.
Yeah. And what this is an actual kind of take on what it would look like to pass the mantle on to someone that isn't just someone in the Bat family, that isn't like a Dick Grayson, that isn't just a General Robin like a Tim Drake, or even like a Stephanie Brown, or whoever you'd bring in there to take the replacement. It's what would happen if Batman wasn't just a vigilante, if Batman was someone that operated within the law of Gotham, that operated within the GCPD.
Yeah.
First off, the GCPD, I don't know where they get their funding, but they make like a bat suit.
Well, let's be fair. If you were looking at the budget for police across America, look, we have in the real world tanks in the hands of police departments in like Missouri. Gotham City is the one place that I can look at and be
police
like,
officers.
oh, yeah, no, all of the weapons, just everything we have.
I'm pretty sure the the payout for like just a sergeant in Gotham has got to be like $200,000 a year to keep anybody on that payroll. It's like, well, I'd leave, but the pay is just so good. Because, Central City has Flash, so, you've got a dude who stops all robberies in the blink of an eye, so why need a very well-equipped police department there? You've got Superman in Metropolis.
I've always maintained that if you're going to be a criminal in the DC universe, you would just say, forget Metropolis. Gotham's got one guy and he moves at the speed of human.
Second, there's a great Bat team, a new suit. They put him in a mech suit because obviously he can't just be Batmaning like old Bruce Wayne because he didn't train with a bunch of assassins.
For 40 years
He's
or
just
whatever.
a police officer who got put in like a rigorous workout schedule. By the way, they shave his mustache. It's a big point, but it's he looks pretty great. Jim Gordon in like early 40s, late 30s is like pretty fit. They give him, and Greg Capullo does a great job of giving him like a new physique. He's like a much slimmer, thinner Batman because obviously he doesn't lift 1 billion pounds every day in a cave. That's all Bruce Wayne does in my imagining during the day.
Yeah.
And for this, they put him in a Bat Zeppelin, which is amazing. This is how Batman gets to crime scenes. He's in a Bat Zeppelin, which he jumps out of in a bat suit to fight crime.
The fastest, honestly,
fastest way to get to crime.
Honestly, that's the thing about the Batmobile that doesn't make sense is traffic.
Why it's not a Bat Zeppelin.
Traffic.
Yeah, it's true.
It's like you would run into that all the time. Car is not the most efficient way.
Not with a Bat Zeppelin.
The jet works until you have to park it.
And of course, what is Batman without his Batmobile? He has in this version a Bat truck, which is...
Never mind. Just never mind what I just said.
So great. Cars, of course, are much easier to transport than a Bat truck, but the Bat truck comes out of the Zeppelin. It transports with the Zeppelin. And of course, a final thought here. Is Batman dead? I'll leave you with that. Mike, what is your poll?
My poll is The Return of Batman. No, I'm sorry. My poll is Gem and the Holograms from IDW. It's written by Kelly Thompson and it's drawn by Sophie Campbell and Amy Mebberson. And they're doing a Gem and the Holograms movie. But for those who don't know anything about Gem and the Holograms, it was an old Hasbro property that was adapted to TV around the same time as the other Hasbro properties like G.I. Joe and Transformers. And it was the show... essentially was about a girl group of rockers, one of whom had a secret identity that she got with her holographic earrings. They created holograms.
Right, of
course. So she had a secret identity through those earrings. She also, they fought crimes, or maybe, I don't know.
Did they?
They had an evil arch-rival
band, right?
The Misfits.
They would have to.
Yeah, the Misfits tried to kill them straight up, like throw them into a volcano a couple times. Yeah, like every episode they tried to kill them.
So it wasn't like Battle of the Bands, like we're going to be the number one group at this club. We'll kill you?
It was, but it was a cartoon where like the stakes were just so absurd, and like I have not watched the show. Apparently it's a gem. The movie doesn't look like it's going to have as much of that wacky charm, but the comic is really well done, and what's interesting is they aged the characters, maybe they didn't age them down so severely. I actually don't know how old they are in the show, but they're all in their like early 20s or late teens. And
the hair in that hairband, it adds at least like 10 years, so that's why.
It is much more modern, obviously, than the 80s cartoon.
They're not rocking the still 80s hairband.
Gem is a little bit, but the main character, Jerrica, she creates the identity of Gem. She still has holographic earrings. That's still there.
Oh, that's still kept in that.
That was kept. But the reason that she creates this alter ego is because she has stage fright. Oh. And she literally can't, like, for some reason it helps her get the disconnect because it's not her out there. And it's a really clean fix. Like, it really, like, oh, that's literally all you needed. Right. Just to help. And also, the Misfits are still there, and the leader still...
Are they still trying to throw them into volcanoes?
Super hates Gem and the Holograms. They haven't yet tried to kill them, but they have tried some very extra legal ways to try to, shut down their concerts and things. It's not hard. It's not hard to be like, okay, we're going to tone it down from murder, but we're still going to have, like, the fun, like... Yeah, they're going to try to destroy the holograms. Like, it's a lot of fun. And
do they try to, like, do it in very, like, new ways? Like, they're going to bash them on Twitter or, like...
There's honestly...
Hashtag Gem sucks.
Social media is a big factor in it because Jerrica's little sister goes on not a date, but sort of a date with a girl who's in the Misfits. Okay. And they're just getting coffee, but they both like each other. But, like... And no one in the band minds that they're gay. It's just, like, the Misfits... or the head of the Misfits is like, you can't be seen with them. Like, you can't do that. We're going to destroy them. What if someone had taken a picture of you and posted it? And it's like, but they didn't. And also, who cares? And also, go away. But, like, she's very obsessive.
Okay,
and, like,
so there is, like, a conscious of the social media space.
They get fame through YouTube. Or not YouTube, but they get fame through, that's the movie. They get fame through a like online competition against the Misfits. It's like, hey, it's a battle of the bands.
It's specifically against the Misfits?
Them. And they're like, and the only reason that the head of the Misfits is hates them is because they're the only contestants that pose a real challenge. They're the only ones, because they're like, yeah, we'll do this thing. We'll play against some person. Obviously, we'll win.
It'll be so fun.
We're a professional band, but this band shows up and they're really good.
And they're actually awesome.
It's a problem.
Do they still have holograms?
Well, it's really just a holographic image around her.
Oh, okay.
To give her this different identity.
Oh, so the hologram is like her costume, basically.
Yeah, it's her costume and her face and her like hair. It's like this big pink thing. And so there's a bit of a love triangle, which again is from the cartoon, brewing between Jerica and a boy who's a reporter in this version. I don't know what he was to her in the cartoon. It didn't matter, probably. But here he's like a music reporter, and the whole thing in the show was like, oh, he likes Jem and he likes Jerica, but they can't let each other know that it's the same person or whatever.
So it's like the Lois and Clark dilemma.
Yeah, I don't know how much of that there's going to be in there, because his first interaction with Jem, he wasn't as wild about her, but he likes Jerica a lot, so it's interesting to see these things play out. It's like a reverse version of Superman.
Yeah.
And just like, hey, like comics about rock bands are just always fun, even though there's no music in a comic. Like, I don't know why, but it always like works really well because you can like put so much of yourself in it. So like Spider-Gwen or Scott Pilgrim, like all of those about rock bands.
Like, people have been to concerts, people know music, like you can get it.
It's really, I don't know, I think this is a lot of fun. It's definitely not for everyone, but if you think you might enjoy it, even if you think maybe, like just give it a shot, check it out. I think it's a lot of fun.
That's an awesome poll. All right. Well, everybody go check out Jem and the Holograms and this little comic known as Batman.
Again.
And again. All right, guys, those were our polls, and that'll be taking us right into our main segment. Mike, kick things off.
Fantastic Four number 5. The Prisoners of Dr. Doom. A little bit later this month, there's a new Fantastic Four movie coming out.
There is!
From 20th Century Fox, and Doom's going to be in it, again, Dr. Doom. Looks like they're taking some liberties with him again, which they did in the last franchise as well.
Nobody's made him the dictator of a fake Latvian country.
No spoilers, Jay. We're going to go back. We're going to talk about the first Fantastic Four appearance of Dr. Doom. The first appearance of Dr. Doom at all.
Really?
This is the beginning of the character. And this comic opens with Dr. Doom looking at a chessboard holding huge miniatures of the Fantastic Four. Like, they're like 12 inches tall, action figure sized miniatures of the Fantastic Four.
So he was real big into their merchandising right out the gate.
He also has books labeled Demons and Science and Sorcery.
Wow. So right out the gate, they're like, this is what Doom is about, guys.
He also has a vulture.
Just hanging out?
Just chilling on his bookshelf.
Does he have a name?
He's not named. I mean, he's probably has a name, but
well,
it's not.
I think we have an obligation to the listeners to name this vulture, Mike.
Vulture Von Doom?
Perfect.
And he says, the Fantastic Four, ha! Little do they dream they are not but pawns in the hands of Dr. Doom. But now it is time to let the Fantastic Four feel my might. For of all the humans on Earth, only I have the power to defeat them. Then he gets in a helicopter and he flies away.
That is a great intro to the greatest villain ever.
We cut to the Baxter building, and all the lights go out on all the floors except for the top floor. On the top floor, of course, they're not aware that's happening. Johnny's reading the first issue of the Incredible Hulk comic book.
Really?
Yeah, joking about how the main character looks like the Thing. And the first comic book Marvel did was Fantastic Four, the first one in this new era.
So is this teasing the Hulk?
The second comic that Stan Lee did with Jack Kirby was, of these superhero comics, was the Hulk. So it was their way of saying like, hey, you should read this comic that we're doing.
You should check out Hulk, guys.
And it was before the idea of an integrated universe existed.
Wow.
Like none of that existed yet. They will meet the Hulk later on.
We know in Marvel Universe that comics are a thing. Like Marvel Comics is a company that exists in Marvel Universe.
From the next appearance of Dr. Doom, or not the next appearance, but a couple appearances later, Dr. Doom will meet Stan Lee and Jack Kirby.
That's true, yeah.
But anyway, he's reading the Incredible Hulk. He's joking about how the main character looks a lot like the Thing. Thing takes the comic and Johnny sets it on fire and they fight and they break a lot of furniture. Reed and Sue subdue them by wrapping around the Thing and using a fire extinguisher. You can guess which one did which.
Right.
Reed shouts, "What's the matter with the four of us? Whenever we're not fighting some menace to mankind, we end up fighting amongst ourselves." Which, again, this was novel. The idea that the Fantastic Four didn't get along all the time, that didn't exist in superhero comics before the Fantastic Four.
Right. That was the Marvel hook, right?
Exactly.
That you're having these, real people or dysfunctional teams. Mm-hmm. That's the idea.
That was the idea. Then all the lights go out, and Dr. Doom's helicopter floating above the building drops a pod, which unravels and covers the building with a net. Johnny reaches out and tries to burn the net, but it doesn't burn. It doesn't catch. It's clearly not just rope.
Now, this is a supervillain thinking outside the box. He's like, why get in there and net them in person when I can just net the whole building?
And then he announces himself from his helicopter, and Reed recognizes the voice. And he tells the group that Victor Von Doom was a fellow student when he went to school who was obsessed with sorcery and black magic and only interested in forbidden experiments, building a device to try to contact the Netherworld. And Reed tells us, one night, the evil genius went too far, as he brought forth powers which even he could not control, and we see this explosion in Doom's laboratory. He managed to escape with his life, although his face was badly disfigured. He was expelled, and the last anyone heard from him, he was prowling the wastelands of Tibet, still seeking forbidden secrets of black magic and sorcery.
It's a good intro.
Yeah.
Good intro to your villain.
We're getting a lot of, like, the defining details of Dr. Doom.
These have not changed.
Yeah.
Will this be the same Doom in the new Fantastic Four movie?
No, 100% no.
No, probably not.
No, we know it's not.
Yeah, we know.
Doom demands that they send him Sue. Ben tries to grab the net, but it electrocutes him. And Sue offers to go. She's at least going to help draw Doom out, or at the very least figure out what power Doom has. He wouldn't attack them empty-handed. Then, once Sue's aboard, Doom makes them swear not to harm him when they get up there, when he catches them, because...
Guys, I know I just netted your entire building, but please don't hurt me when you get up here.
Because he's counting on Mr. Fantastic's curiosity about Doom's plan overwhelming his sense of self-preservation.
That's pretty smart.
It's exactly what happens.
Yeah, obviously.
He flies the Fantastic Four to his castle, and we cut to Doom sitting on a throne, in a throne room, with Sue tied up standing next to him. On the other side of the chair, he's petting a giant tiger.
Of course.
He has a...
So he lost interest in his Vulture Von Doom already.
We know what that Vulture was there for, I guess.
Yeah.
He has a mission for the Fantastic
Do we know what that Vulture was there for? I thought about that for a moment. I was like, tiger food. Oh, right.
It's like, vultures are pretty evil, but what's really pimp? Like, what's the kingiest thing I can have?
Is a tiger.
Yeah, it's a tiger.
But also a tiger that eats vultures.
Yeah, maybe. He has a mission for the Fantastic Four, and he'll reward them if they do it. Otherwise, he does have Sue as a hostage. He invented a time machine, and he wants the Fantastic Four to get Blackbeard's treasure for him. He has to stay in the present to operate the machine.
What? Dr. Doom wants the Fantastic Four.
Yes.
To go back in time to steal Blackbeard's treasure.
Yes.
The Blackbeard.
That's the one.
The real Blackbeard?
That's the one.
All right.
Also, he invented a time machine.
A lot happened in about 2 sentences?
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Reed makes Doom promise to set Sue free if they don't return. And he agrees. She's just collateral damage to keep Reed in line, and if Reed's dead, she's useless to him. Doom gives them 48 hours in the past. Then he presses a button, and the panel on the ground that the boys were standing on comes to life, glows yellow, and rises up and envelops them, and they vanish into the past. Doom says that they are going to bring him the gems, which, unknown to them, will make him the ruler of Earth.
What?
Yep.
Blackbeard's gems have the power to make someone the ruler of the Earth.
Yeah, but the Fantastic Three don't know that.
I'm 100% in on this story at this point.
In the past, the three need period-appropriate clothes, and then they see 2 pirates fighting over a bundle of clothes that they stole.
The most convenient. Yeah. What are we going to do with all these clothes? A perfect pirate imitation. That's what they really sounded like.
The Thing runs up and he scares them off, and the 3 manage to dress up, and they have appropriately sized clothing.
Does the Thing wear an appropriately sized pirate outfit
for
the Thing?
He has a pirate outfit, he has an eye patch, and a big fake beard.
So there was like a pirate that was like the size of 3 men.
There was also a fake beard. An eye patch I get.
There's a theater company right now that's really pissed off they can't put on their own treasure
But what's funny is that the clothes reflect them all. So, like, Reed's clothes make him look a little bit more like a dandy, like a little more of like a swashbuckling with the big hat.
Right.
And Johnny's clothes are much more of like the cabin boy, just bandana. And, like, classic pirate is the Thing. Like Captain Hook coat, essentially, and like the big tricorn hat and the beard. Like, it's as piratey as it can get.
And that's the Thing, right? He looks like a giant Captain Hook.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Essentially. And if you look close, it looks like he has really, really bad skin.
So far, this comic is batting 1,000.
In true adventurers fashion, they hit a tavern to plan their next move.
Great.
But a few pirates nearby see them and decide they'd make good crew members. So they have the waitress drug the 3, and the 3 wake up in the hold of a pirate ship. The Thing wakes up first, he hears the pirates arguing over who's in charge, and he reaches up through the floor, grabs one of them, and pulls them down through the floorboards, and then crawls up onto the deck and just fights a whole bunch of pirates.
Makes sense.
Johnny and Reed immediately point out the odds are not fair. Only a dozen pirates against the Thing? He's got them entirely outnumbered.
Yeah, he's made of rock.
But then the pirates attack them as well, and they have to fight back. They use their incredible powers, obviously, because that's the whole point of the comic book. The pirates quickly back off. They realize it would be foolish to attack our heroes. And suddenly, another ship opens fire on the pirate ship that they're on, and Reed spies it's loaded with treasure. He hopes, you know what, it's a long shot, maybe it's Blackbeard's ship.
Maybe it's Blackbeard.
The Thing leads the pirates against the other ship, and they quickly fall in line. Aye, aye, mighty one.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, well, I mean, he just knocked out 12 of them.
Mutiny was a thing, and I mean, he did show that he was the strongest.
Exactly. Johnny flames on, and the three of them very quickly take the ship. At this point, the pirates begin praising the Thing. Hooray for the mighty bearded one! Hooray for Blackbeard! Hail Blackbeard, scourge of the seven seas!
Wait, what? Hold on. So, the Thing is Blackbeard.
Reed realizes that the Thing is the historical Blackbeard. The treasure they just found is by proxy Blackbeard's treasure.
Wow.
They find a treasure chest full of loot, but Reed divides the gold and jewels amongst the crew. They don't take any of it. He says, if Dr. Doom wanted it, there must be some dangerous power which it possesses, and we've got to see that he never gets it. So he just takes everything out of the treasure chest, and he fills the treasure chest with worthless chains instead. After all, they only promised to bring him the treasure chest, not the treasure himself, which I flipped back. That is entirely not true. They said they'd bring him the treasure.
Reed, you're a scientist. Details, Reed. Details.
Well, also, just if you're gonna lie, just say you're a liar.
Yeah, exactly.
Just admit to it.
Also, what was that situation gonna look like? He was obviously gonna look in the treasure chest immediately. Immediately.
Yeah. However, Ben doesn't want to leave.
He wants to be Blackbeard forever?
He likes being Blackbeard. He says, the future holds nothing for me. In the 20th century, I'm nothing but a monster. A freak. But here I'm somebody. I'm a leader of men. I'm a captain. I'm the guy who started the legend of Blackbeard. The kids will read about me in school someday. I ain't giving this up. Never. He has the crew tie up Johnny and Reed.
Whoa!
Johnny is still soaking wet from the fight, which apparently means he can't flame on. I guess that's a thing.
Okay.
They wrap Reed up in a sail.
That's a weaker power than Green Lantern's effectiveness against yellow. Being wet is,
exactly.
Oof, that's a tough kryptonite.
And they wrap Reed up in a sail, which makes sense. They essentially put him in a sack and he can't do anything.
Sure.
And they dump them both into a lifeboat. But at that moment, a storm, a twister on the sea for some reason, but let's just say storm and we move on, hits the boat, and Reed and Johnny find each other in the waves. They wash up on an island and they find the Thing now without his costume. It was all blown away by the storm. So he doesn't have a hope of maintaining a ruse as Blackbeard anyway, even though he's separated from the crew in the first place.
So that's going to be a really awkward conversation. Oh, guys. Well, I feel really bad about completely turning on you.
Well, Ben says, don't say it, Rubber Man. I know. I was a fool. I must have got carried away by being accepted as a normal man, even if it was only by a band of cutthroat pirates. I just lost my dumb head for a while.
To be fair, he went completely method. I mean, pirates do commit mutiny all the time.
I'm a regular.
He immediately fell into that role perfectly.
Johnny finds the treasure chest full of chains at that point on the beach, and at that point, Doom decides they've had enough time and summons them to the present. Doom reveals that the gems were originally the property of Merlin, and he gave them the power to make their owner invincible.
Wow.
Which clearly worked out for everyone in Arthurian times.
Yeah, right. Arthur lived a very long and healthy life. Yeah. Merlin was never screwed over in any way.
Yeah, everybody in that story made it to a ripe old age.
Yeah.
Johnny realizes, he says it quietly to Reed, the gems were scattered to the bottom of the sea. The Submariner, who they just fought in the last issue, could potentially find them. But Reed says they have to hope he doesn't.
Because at that point, he's not a friend.
Yeah, exactly.
To be fair, most of the times he's kind of not a friend.
But at this point, he super isn't.
Right.
Doom opens the chest and he finds the chains and the Thing attacks him. Doom shoots him, but the Thing just smashes Doom and reveals that Doom is just a robot.
Oh, so this is the introduction of the Doombots.
That's right.
Very nice.
A screen activates on a ball that lowers down from the ceiling like a disco ball, and Doom reveals that he's in the room hidden above them. Then he sucks all of the oxygen out of their chamber.
Oh boy.
Meanwhile, Sue is tied up, standing very near the real Dr. Doom for some reason.
So who's the Sue in the room that they were in?
She wasn't in that room.
Oh,
when they came back in, it was just Dr. Doom.
It was just Dr. Doom.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
She turns invisible, and she activates the cutoff switch to short-circuit the mechanism. And she does, and the computer blows up in Dr. Doom's face because of reasons.
Okay.
She runs down the hall.
Look, we know from old comics that computers were poorly made.
Yeah.
They exploded frequently.
And by the way, this does not solve the death trap entirely. It just blows up in Dr. Doom's face and distracts him. She runs down the hall.
Now I can't turn the oxygen back on.
She opens the door to the chamber and lets the air in, and she releases them. They untie her. Ben wants to go find Dr. Doom, but Reed says every inch of this castle must be booby-trapped. So he stretches out the barred window and over to a crocodile-filled moat to grab the rock on the other side, ties himself to the bars of the window and pulls, and breaks the wall down. Johnny burns away part of the moat and fuses the ground and makes a glass bridge across the water. None of that is science.
That's not how water works.
Nope.
If you heat it, it turns to steam.
Yeah.
It is not sand.
Yeah, and even if you do like fuse the ground below the water, you'll just cover it with more water.
Yeah,
It doesn't make any sense at all.
You know what? The science in this comic was really tight with the Blackbeard, with the pirate outfits, with the time travel, all the way up until the moat bit. Mike, I'm really disappointed.
In episode 6 or 7, we talked about another Doctor Doom comic, and again, it's Johnny's powers. Johnny's powers are the ones that break
they just
science.
don't make sense.
Nope.
Well, he is a human supernova son. To be fair, whenever he would go supernova, he should technically kill everyone.
Yeah, that's true. But then Johnny makes a circle of fire around the castle to smoke Dr. Doom out. And Doom shouts, "Bah! Let him use his flames. I hope he burns my fortress to the ground so that none may ever learn my many secrets. As for me, the greatest scientific mind of all time is not without his own emergency escape devices, such as my rocket-powered flying harness." And he's got a jetpack under his cloak.
Which is a dope way to describe a jetpack.
It's
a
true.
rocket-powered flying harness. Let's just stay here that Dr. Doom is glass half full. I mean, that guy turned a burning castle scenario into a positive.
It's true. He flies off to another hidden base, or a new hidden base, and Johnny starts to fly after him, but he can't keep up with Doom's rockets. His flames fade, and he falls.
He can't keep up with the rockets?
Yeah.
Ooh, dope rockets.
And then he's able to flame on just before he hits the ground, enough to soften his fall, and he grabs a tree branch, and he's just sort of dangling there. The three catch up with him, and they marvel that, the Submariner and Dr. Doom are both out there, both loose. And Reed says they'll have to dedicate their lives to tracking them each down. Ben says, "And next time, I'll handle things my way." That's it for this episode, but the next issue, Dr. Doom and Submariner team up.
Really?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, as Dr. Doom's introduction, that's a solid villain introduction.
Pretty much everything's there from day one.
I mean, just that opening shot
except for the rationalization of why he's looking into the Netherworld magic, which came later on.
Right.
And we'll get to that at some point in a later comic.
But you can't put it all in the first issue.
No. Everything else there is like, it's there from, as you were starting to say, and I cut you off, page 1.
Yeah, it's right. I mean, demons, sorcery, and science. I mean, I hope that that's in the movie. I hope somewhere he goes, "Oh, I'm just reading up on some books," and it just says demons, and then it says sorcery and science on the other side of it.
It 100% will not.
It will not do that at all. All right, well, that was a great main segment, and that'll be taking us right into our game, Super-Mundane. Alright, this is Super-Mundane. This is the game where I will name a mundane task or activity, and Mike and I will have to figure out which hero from Marvel or DC is the best and worst at doing this specific task. So the task for this episode is, who is the best and worst at helping you move?
Okay, helping you move's a good one.
Now, right out the gate, I feel like, probably best is going to be some type of speedster, right?
That's interesting, because the first impulse everyone has is someone who's super strong. That's the one everyone always goes
that's
to.
True.
Everyone always goes to the person
because someone could, the Flash is fast, but he's not going to be able to carry that couch by himself.
Exactly. The problem you run into that with, and the reason we have to disqualify people like The Thing or Hercules, is because they're not going to be so super careful with your delicates.
Yeah, Thing is going to be smashing through walls. The clobbering time catchphrase will not be as effective here. No. He was also once a pirate.
But if we can find something that combines those abilities...
Who can be Hercules, but also be delicate?
Yeah, someone who can be delicate and precise, but also carry great amounts of things, that's the way to go. And I think the way you do that is with telekinesis. And I think that puts us in Jean Grey territory, because she's the most powerful telepath in the world.
That's true. Telekinesis is pretty much like the
catch-all.
It's the cheat code for that, basically.
Yeah.
Oh, let me just open your doors and everything, all your furniture and your things just dance out of the apartment,
It would be
basically.
Sword in the Stone style, everything packs itself into the boxes, and you could not see how our hands were doing.
Yeah, we were dancing
miming,
around. I mean, we really commit to this, guys.
But I think that's the way you go, because honestly, super speed only gets you so far, and super strength only gets you so far, but telekinesis is pretty much the way to go.
Yeah.
Now, that's a common power. Is there anyone who's better in this territory than Jean Grey?
I was just thinking about this. Might not be better, but we've brought him up a few times and he hasn't been a win yet. But Multiple Man could do this job pretty well because he is
true.
many men.
That's pretty true,
And
actually.
he's basically his own moving company. And it's also something I could legitimately see him doing as a side job.
That's 100% accurate.
It's literally something he could easily do in an afternoon. Just hire one guy. He could also like make some additional money off of this. Be like, well, you're going to need at least 10 workers, but it's really just him.
Yeah.
And you could get hilarity of him wearing funny mustaches
to make
and
that
beards
reference, yeah.
and eye patches too.
I was going right to the mustache.
Like to be like, oh yeah, this is Jim and this is Bob, and it's really just him in different outfits.
Yeah.
Actually, he could run an extremely successful business on moving companies.
It's true. And as
he
soon
could
as
move tons of people at once, tons of houses.
And as soon as he gets to something, he's like, oh, this is too heavy for me. Thump, thump, thump. Now it's not. Now there's
he's
more
got
of
five
me.
more people helping him carry something.
My only concern is his irresponsibility, but honestly, for the guy you have move, like...
But to be fair, like, it's a pretty simple task.
Yeah.
I mean, and it's a pretty mindless one, too. It's not brain surgery, it's just moving
assuming
things
you've
out of a
already
room.
packed all the boxes,
Right.
then you're good. And that's the thing with Jean Grey is, like, you know, she's packing all the stuff for you, and then, what, moving it out to a van still? Like, you still need to get all those guys where they're going. And, like, Multiple Man's like, all right, there's 10 of us getting into this car. Where are they? Well, they're me now. Just one driver.
Just one driver, and then pop all of you out when you
pop
get
all
there.
them out, and I think he's the best answer.
He's super convenient. He's literally a moving crew in one person.
It's true.
And Jean Grey as well, she has to kind of, I mean, I'm not 100% on how telekinesis work, guys. I haven't done my telekinesis research. But wouldn't she have to see where the boxes are going?
Probably,
You know what I mean?
yeah, probably.
So she would have to be in rooms, follow them out, move it, while he could literally create a chain of like 50 guys, just hup, 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 hup,
Bucket
just,
brigade, yeah,
just
yeah.
like an assembly line, just passing boxes. You could unpack your place in literally 10 minutes, 5 minutes. Yeah, I think Multiple Man is actually the best.
Yeah.
This is a nice moment for Multiple Man. He's landed a very prestigious job as the best guy to help you move.
That's a comic I would love to read. Not all of that, but like
Just
a scene from a comic.
50 issues of Multiple Man moving people. It would
Multiple
be a
Man
very
Moving Company.
Multiple moving.
Yeah, no? Multiple Man Moving. Or
Multiple Man moving, MMM.
Yes, that's that.
Multiple Man moving. Alliteration is key here.
It's
guys.
true. We've got
so if Multiple Man is our best, who's our worst at helping you move? Now remember, we don't have to be slaves to our rule of that.
No.
They would actually. But here's the thing: for helping someone move, you ask anybody. Because to be fair, you are desperate when you need somebody to help you move.
I think you go with who your first impulse is. That's someone who's going to be strong.
Right.
And you go with someone who, I'm leaning towards Hercules.
And you know what? Hercules is a good pick because he's going to be so, like, animated about it.
Yeah.
He's like, of course, my friend.
And then he's going to, like, bump into stuff. Like, he's going to, like, miss a step and put his shoulder into the wall, and you're not going to get your security deposit back.
Yeah, your deposit is gone thanks to Hercules.
And he's just, like, a boisterous guy, and he's going to, like, you know, not judge your collection of mugs from different places you visited, but definitely, like, give you some critiques as for, like, what you should be drinking out of and what you should own and your furniture. Like, oh, no, you should have this, and this would be great. Like, he's a good buddy, but he is from an older time, so he probably would want you to put everything, like, no, just, like, get statues of naked women or whatever. Like, he is...
You want to have tiger skin laying on your floor.
I can get you one.
Don't worry, I threw these out for you because I think you need some new tigers.
I think he's your worst because
He could
he's
be your
someone...
worst. You would not have Hulk move you.
No, you wouldn't go to Hulk or Red Hulk. Like, Red Hulk has got his stuff together.
He's got his stuff together, but you still wouldn't ask a Hulk to help you move. But Hercules is...
She-Hulk could do the job well, I honestly think.
Yeah.
But she's not your first choice, and she's not probably as good as
Multiple Man.
I think Hercules, you could conceivably say, like, oh yeah, I'm going to have Hercules help me move. Oops.
Are you going to have the guy that fights mythic beasts help you move fragile equipment?
That sure is a thing I did.
Oh, boy. Yeah.
He's also probably drunk.
Oh, really?
He's a heavy drinker.
I never read the Hercules run, but was he a big drinker?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. That comic opened with him drinking.
Oh, okay. Well, then, yes, I think it's fair to say that Hercules would probably be a little bit buzzed, a little bit tipsy by the time he came to your moving at 10 a.m.
Yeah.
This is how I start my mornings.
That's probably still drunk.
Yeah. Oh, wow. And it was The Incredible Hercules, right?
Incredible Hercules is a great comic. You guys should definitely check that out.
Oh, man.
It's a lot of fun. There's one where he had to pretend to be Thor and Thor had to pretend to be him.
What?
Yeah, it was delightful.
That was the thing?
Yeah.
All right. Well, it looks like we've got our two movers. We've got our best is going to be Multiple Man, and our worst is going to be Hercules.
Marvel's Hercules.
All right, guys. Well, that was episode 33 of Because Comics. We'll be posting a new episode every other week. If you'd like to download more episodes or check out other similar podcasts, head over to partialarc.com. That's arc with a C. Of course, you can email us any questions at becausecomics@gmail.com or follow us on Twitter and Instagram at partialarc. And be sure to check out more content from our comic boy wonder, Mike Christensen, at partialarc.com, where he writes articles every Tuesday and Thursday. Thanks for listening, and remember,
Someday, you'll find it. The Rainbow Connection. The lovers, the dreamers, and me. You're listening to KMCR 68, the sports leader.
The sports leader?
That's the only radio station I could come up with.
Is that the opening every time?
KMC, not the Rainbow Connection. I just switched gears.
Because comics.